I could not believe what happened overnight, and very rarely do we have a Sunday show, but it was wild. I was sleeping on my fat ass. The sirens start going off, which normally I don't pay attention to. I'm being quite honest. I don't. I just don't pay attention. I roll over. They're in another town, but this one was right on us. Yep, we have some damage. DT driver's got to get out there. He had to chase down a few of our inflatable turkeys from the front yard. That's probably his biggest problem right now. We have some garden arches to put up, but it was nuts. I called Linda at like 3:30 in the morning, but the damage across the street, the state is horrible. Let's see who is in here. Oh, let's see. Teddy Burr, good morning. Baby Kiss said Tornado Alley. You got it. You got it straight. CJK said, Lord have mercy. I know. And some people say, well, it's November. You can't have a tornado. Well, anytime you have warm air and cold air, they can happen. And remember, we haven't had any rain since like the middle of September. Love one another said, if anyone wants to follow him, he goes by Meso Hunter. Let him know I sent you over. You know, no offense, love one another, but today's not the day for that. I really don't know why people keep coming in here to promote other channels, because it's just goddamn rude. I don't go to someone's house and say, oh, I already had dinner and it was 10 times better. Mrs. T, thank you for this. She said, hey, Brooks, my husband's work probably heading that way for cleanup. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. But the issue is, and we all know what the issue is. We all know what the issue is. We're going to have no help getting it cleaned up. And I mean none. None. Because as you know, when Hurricane Helene went through, we know that it was put in the New York Post that there's no FEMA money. Federal Emergency Management Assistance is gone. Gone. All the money has been gone to the border. Not for a wall. Not to give snacks to Border Patrol. It's gone. I have no idea how Oklahoma is going to recover after this. I think it's going to just come right down to brass tacks. It's going to be neighbor helping neighbor. We know that. That's what's going to happen. Now, Nufflin said, did you guys hear what happened in Spain? No, I don't get their local news. What happened? What happened? I haven't heard. Absolutely crazy. And telling American citizens you have to take a loan out to rebuild, and then you got to pay it back in a year. Sunset Gaming said $750, even if proved to get, is a loan to be paid back in a year, or they take their property. Woo, I'm telling you. Fun Size says, hope your place is okay, Brooks. That's up to DT Driver. All I know is we put up our Thanksgiving inflatables on Friday. and we had 3 inflatable turkeys flying around in the tornado. That does not do a lot for my holiday flair. James Radcliffe said, wow, you just got a couple subscribers with that border bullshit. Trump or Culp, so sad. Go on. Leave me alone, James Radcliffe. I don't know you. You don't know me. You're insane. If you don't know what's really going on in this world, you're insane. Exactly. James Radcliffe, did you see my husband have to chase turkeys down the road? It was horrible. Let's take a second and tell everyone hello. Sorry if I'm being rude. It was just a really hard night. You know, James Radcliffe, maybe you ought to think about that. You're more worried about Trump than what me, my family, my children, my dad, everyone in our community has gone through last night. Piece of shit. And I'm just sharing this with my friends. That's what I'm doing because we're friends here, right? Are we not friends here? I didn't bring up Trump. James Ratcliffe did. Seems like he doesn't have enough batteries for his butt dough. Thank you, TJ. Pretty bad when people are more bad about Trump and not you and your children or your community. I sure hope everyone's alive and everyone's safe. It's not that easy. Let's start going through it, okay? Because this is bad.
Neighbors and homeowners working to try to assess the destruction here in this area. Again, the Northeast 23rd and Luther Road. And you can see some homes that took some minor damage, some homes that took some major damage like this one, and some homes that were just completely destroyed. This is just some of the damage that we are starting to see here in the Hare area. We're going to make our way around as much as we can. We do have some more weather that's moving into the area coming up here pretty soon, but right now we're able to bring you these shots here in the Hare area of a lot of damage, some large trees that were knocked over. Those can
see, this is such what I'm talking about. Baby D. By the way, nobody knows how I'm going to vote. She said Trump could give a shit less. Prayers for Oklahoma City. It's much bigger than that. Trump is not the president, and FEMA was raped by our current administration. Melanie has flooding. Melanie, I saw in your area, cars are being washed away. Do you hear the sirens and everything outside? Melanie, please be careful. Jennifer Smiley, love you, girlfriend. I know you're not far from here. She said, so much for the extra hour of sleep. Oklahoma, weather well played. Exactly. Look at that. When they're like, we get an extra hour of sleep, then here comes Oklahoma going, hold my beer.
Can also cause damage as they fall into homes, fall into vehicles. And this was a surprise last night. I mean, we knew that we were going to have some severe weather going into this weekend.
Angel P said this is humanitarian issues for fuck's sakes. Exactly. But you see people like James Ratcliffe and Baby D, they want to fight about an election that hasn't happened. They are what I call low information voters. They find one little thing, and that's what they want to pick on. They don't care about everything that's going on. If they care so much about what happens to human beings on this earth, then what have they done? That is the truth. What have they done? Because it was a horrific night. But enough about me. Let's talk about people who have severe problems and getting worse.
All right, we are the only helicopter out here in the Hera area bringing you these shots. So I'm just gonna kind of move.
Hang on. No Eyes said, did Tulsa get any damage? I'm glad you and your family are safe. A lot. Because after it went through Glenpool, it went to Sapulpa, and it went through the Tulsa Hills area. I called my sons at way before the sun would even think about opening its eyes. And they were like, yeah, we're taking shelter. We're taking shelter. We're taking shelter. 21st and Yale got a direct hit. When you're going down 44, No Eyes, you see that big building. Well, I tell you something right now. It doesn't have that glass anymore. Lisa, did you at least get adequate warning bricks? You never do with tornadoes. Sorry, Karma Lieber will tell you it doesn't work that way. It's not a hurricane. They can't tell you you've got a week to prepare. It doesn't work that way.
I'm gonna go further to the set. Yeah, that's fine. I'm trying to kind of fly the path and see if I can see more damage. I know that there is some. If you want to bring the camera out front, Francisco, I'm seeing more damage along this path. I'm seeing a lot of downed trees, broken trees, houses with a lot of damage. You can just fly along to the left there. There's some damaged outbuildings and barns. As we that field that you just went over to the right, all those trees are broken, so there's just a lot of tree debris right there. And as we continue forward, if you can go to the left, I'm seeing a lot more homes right in through here with a lot of damage, a lot of barns, a lot of if those buildings weren't held down, they were destroyed. But you see there's some minor damage there with looks like a horse arena and some outbuildings. But further up here, I can actually see the path of the tornado as we continue flying through the town of Hera. We're seeing a barn right down here that was completely destroyed. I don't know where you're pointing right now, Francisco. So to the right, to the right, to the right, down to the right, right there. So you see a bunch of shingles ripped off the roof there. There's a barn that has.
Okay, this destruction is much closer to Karma Libra than me. There's Shonda.
Hi.
Girlfriend, I just spoke to you last week about another tornado coming through. I didn't see it coming towards your area, but I was worried about Karma. And I was actually worried, especially when I saw it spin off and go towards Dallas. I was worried about Melanie.
Okay. Is that better? Can you hear me?
Absolutely. Can we all hear? Can we all hear Shonda?
I had to shut my YouTube off. Yes, we were just talking about this just a few nights ago because that storm was right over the top of me, and you and Greg could see it from my house.
Yeah, it was on our news. Actually, I sent you pictures of 50 miles away.
Yes, and that was huge. I said that was a big meso sitting on top of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it went right over, right between us, and hit Joplin, just like you said it would.
It did go to Joplin. This one didn't. It seems like it dissipated before it went to Arkansas, but I haven't seen everything. But what is it? Valley Brook, Oklahoma, gone. Hera, Oklahoma, gone.
You know, it hit on the north side of Norman, like 2 miles from that store that I was working at.
Whoa, you got to be kidding me.
That's crazy. And Friday was my last day down there.
Just Me said, DT, do you have a basement? This is a very hard thing to explain to people that live in Oklahoma. We can't have basements because they'll come out of the ground. We can get a storm cellar, but it's got to be like rooted down with like a ton of concrete. You know, it's feast or famine around here. Now, we do not have basements. No, we do not. Do you have a basement, Shonda?
We have a cellar, but we really, I throw the kids down there. Like if it gets really, really, scary, and it gets, ugly outside, I'll throw the kids down there. But no, we don't hardly ever use it. But, like I said, in Oklahoma, we can't trust the sirens because if it's a county-wide tornado warning, the tornado can be on the southeast corner of the county and you can live on the northwest and it does not affect you at all. So they blow them because it's warned. It's a warned area. It doesn't mean that you're going to get the tornado. So that's why if you're a true Oklahoman and you have grew up in Oklahoma, then you just know to go out. That's why we're idiots. That's why you see all the Oklahoma idiots standing outside with their face pressed against the sky because we're watching the clouds. We watch the updrafts. We know how to see if something is going to form. We watch the rotation in the clouds, and that tells us whether we really need to hike tail and head down to the cellar or flip our couches over and get up underneath them or, whatever precautions that we have been raised and know to take.
Melanie said, true story, LOL, because when I was talking to you on Wednesday, when I saw that one could possibly form coming towards you, you and I were outside. I was sitting on the back porch. You were outside because we know when the sky gets green and we get to a place where we just can't really breathe very well. We're like, Brainworms lives in Claremore, I believe. The NATO that hit us in May, the sirens went off that morning. I was like, not again. I still cannot believe, and that's my hometown, when those tornadoes wiped out Claremore.
I love Oklahoma. I love Oklahoma. And I really love Oklahoma during storm season. And this is a really weird season for us because, we know that we can get snow nados, we've had tiger nados, we've had every freaking tornado known to man, and it's, I love it. At the end of the day, people can talk trash on Oklahoma all you want to. And I guarantee you that as an Oklahoman, we definitely band together in times like this. And we don't, I'm not talking anything negative on FEMA or anything like that. But at the end of the day, we don't fucking need FEMA. Because we come together as a state, as a community, as a group, and we understand what everybody is dealing with, and we're there for our fellow neighbors. And that is probably one of my most favorite things about being an Oklahoman.
Mm-hmm.
They can keep their measly little checks that they were wanting to send out, you know, the devastation out and you know, off of that tornado and stuff. They're still searching and rescuing survivors and victims of that storm. And you don't see that in the media, you know.
No, that's not going to happen. And that's our tax dollars.
Yep.
You know, and my husband woke me up because, you know, as well as I do, being an Okie girl, we sleep through most of this.
Well, I did. I woke up this morning, I seen my notifications. I was like, holy crap. Turned on the news and I seen everything. You know, I get Oklahoma City stations, you know, because I'm up over here and stuff. You guys get Tulsa stations. So I see the devastation in Tulsa, you know, and then I log on and I see your stuff that you've posted from the devastation in Tulsa, and it literally went, you could see the line where it traveled, and it's just devastation. And I pray for everybody that has been affected and is involved. And I hope that
Okies call each other. Are you awake? Are you
Yes.
awake? Are you awake? Are you awake? You know, we were hunkered down in the bathtub, not a bubble bath. That would have been nice. And I said to Greg, I'm like, because we could hear it. It sounds like a train coming through.
Yep.
You know that sound.
Yep.
And I said, get OJ down. And so Greg's going around the house trying to find OJ. So we're all in the bathtub, and I had my phone. And so it was going up 44 is the way they predicted it, what I could see. Thank goodness we have phones. And so I called my neighbor across the street. Yeah, just like Karma said, the good old Okie hotline. Exactly. So I called my neighbor across the street, Linda, and she was in her closet. She has like a battery operated weather radio. She's always prepared. She has a closet full of flashlights, water, all that stuff. 13th hour said, I'm in Ardmore. Y'all okay? Yeah, I heard what happened. Because it was coming that way, it spun off and it went down towards the Dallas area.
That's why I was watching, like I was going through my news feed this morning, and I've got a bunch of amateur, you know, storm chasers and stuff that, I mean, they're pretty serious about their stuff. They're smart. They know their stuff, you know, and he was really honing in, and I'll have to go back and look. I can share you the link. And he was talking about how the storms were combining and just weird weather, you know, and being in Oklahoma, like we're used to weird weather. But last night's storm was really, really extraordinarily weird.
Well, we're used to unpredictable weather, but we weren't expecting that cold front to come in from the warm front from the Gulf. And that's what always does it to us. But I mean, look at this damage. We have towns gone, and don't think that the national news is going to care.
The roof taken off, and as we continue, I'm just going to keep flying. If you just keep the camera forward, 30 seconds away. Here's a home that was damaged. We'll put it on that here for a second. I don't know where the camera is now. Come around to the right. It's down to the right there. Standing by.
That's a damn house. It's gone.
Is that a trailer house or is that like a house?
I would say it looks like a house to me.
That's what it looks like.
All right, so from there, I'm going to go up and to the left. Okay, Francisco? All right, now go up and to the left. Go left. Put it right off in front of us. Yeah, there's the path right there. So just keep it out in front of us. I'm just going to fly past.
Okay, Shonda, let's explain this to Kloops. She said, if you paid attention to meteorology reports, they've explained many times that fall is also tornado season. Maybe mark that on your calendar. Listen, this was at like 4 o'clock in the morning when we were sleeping.
Tornado season is all year. We've had tornadoes in December. That's in the winter. It's not necessarily a season for tornadoes. It cannot be just taken down like it's just our weather. It's because we're not far. I mean, we are far from the Gulf, but we're not too far from the Gulf whenever you think of jet streams and the cold fronts and then the warm air and things like that. That is what makes the storms. And I mean, that's what makes the hurricanes, the tornadoes. I mean, and it is basic science. And you're right, meteorology, like people need to like know, just even the basics. But fall is not our tornado season. Technically, spring is our tornado season, but it doesn't fall on any one calendar month. It doesn't fall on one calendar season. That's what sucks about Oklahoma weather is it very much is unpredictable, and it cannot be just, oh, well, we're entering fall, we don't have to worry about tornadoes, like, no, it could be tornadoing outside, hailing. It could be snowing and tornadoing outside. We've growing up here, you learn that. That's the first thing that you learn is most of your scientific rules. Those don't apply to us.
Mm-hmm.
Like our stuff has a mind of its own. Like,
Well, and I mean, we've had tornadoes in November before. We have. Usually, I mean, in my area is where I see the worst of them is usually in May, early June. That's where we see them. So I don't know why Kloops is saying, get over yourself. You're not the only Okies. Well, I mean, if you're up all night with a flashlight and just waiting for a siren to go off, then, good on you. I mean, really, good on you. Some of us go to sleep.
No, it's not. No, it's not. We're the only ones over here. All right. Keep going up. There's a neighborhood up here that's got a lot of damage. Yeah, right there, top middle. Keep going. Keep going. Top middle. No, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. We need to get it on air. Come on, go up. Go up, go up, go up, go up, go up, go up. Right in there. All of that neighborhood's almost destroyed. There you go.
Okay, Shonda, some of these houses are what we all look for, full rock, full stone.
and that's a harrowing photo. That image right there is extremely you can see right there that it doesn't, like, your inside part of your home, of course, is always your safest place, but if it's tearing through your home, where are you really going to go? Like, there's not, if it is, this breaks my heart. This is so sad. Like, we just had the wildfires, and like, this is just so sad this year with the tornadoes across Oklahoma and the fires and stuff. Like, this is so bad.
It's horrible. And I don't know what this family is going to have to do. It just turned up a whole business complex, like right down the road from us.
That's so sad. I hope and I pray that everybody's got great insurance and that these insurance companies ain't going to do what they do, and try to get out of helping these poor people. And then the people that don't have insurance, I pray that their community is amazing and they help these people out.
Well, remember after the Moore tornado and how many people that had their homes paid off and couldn't get any help getting anything done. But it was neighbors helping neighbors that got it done.
Well, look at Barnstall. Just wasn't it like last year or earlier this year when Barnstall just got wiped out?
Mm-hmm.
There ain't nothing left in Barnstall no more. And that's a small little bitty, one of those small little bitty tiny Oklahoma towns that, they're dying, and
Sulphur Springs, they're wiped out. We
Yep.
still rebuilt Ramona, Oklahoma.
And Sulphur is one of my favorite spots in Oklahoma because of Little Niagara. It is so beautiful down there. They've got the Artesian, the casino that's down there. It's just such a beautiful, picturesque, perfect little town. And that hurt me whenever that got hit.
I was hit, I think, in 2014 and, went through Allstate. I'll never use them again. And I did get some letters from FEMA, but it was insane. I'm like, what are you doing taking the money that we pay in to tell people you can get a loan from them? Hell, I know where to go to Check and Go if I need a loan.
Right.
I know where Bank of Oklahoma is. I want my tax dollars.
Right.
And Mother Nature's not mad, but God is.
Somebody, man, somebody.
Yeah, we got into Hera just about 15 to 20 minutes ago, and we're already picking up a lot of damage. This is probably the hardest hit part of Hera. As you can see, a number of homes in this entire neighborhood. This is Southeast 15th and Peebly Road. So I know a lot of you aren't going to be able to make it into this location, but you can see all of the damage here, and the path is even longer. This is a long track tornado, and as I can look out in front of me and to the back of me, and I can see a lot more damage as we continue to fly through the Hera area. I know this is just one of the areas that was hit with a number of tornadoes last night, and I know a lot of you were woken up by those alarms that were going off. If you come down to the right just a little bit more, Francisco, we'll get right there. You go. That's more along the path of the tornado that came through Hera. Seeing emergency crews out, seeing family and friends out helping to assess the damage here. But this is going to be a long cleanup process as time goes on. We're going to continue to fly around the Hera area and try to find more damage. It's not hard to find. There's a lot here. Back to you guys. Okay, keep just bring it around to the front. I'm just going to keep flying this path. Can you bring it around to the front, Francisco? Because there's a whole lot more. All right, to the left. Keep coming around, right off the nose. Right there. All right, just bring it off the nose, and I'm going to fly the path. What? Okay. There's a lot to record.
Okay, so we still don't know how many people are dead. I hate to say it, dead. That's the word. Injured. Hospitals are full, okay, in certain areas. The emergency rooms are full. And in some of the areas they're talking about, these are rural hospitals, meaning it's acute care, and then they have to get them to a bigger hospital, which would be Tulsa, Oklahoma City, Stillwater. It's crazy. I don't even know the magnitude of this that came through.
Yeah, I was about to say, you want to explain to everybody like how they classify these tornadoes and how they put them in the EF scale and like how they put them in an EF1 or EF2 or EF3 category? because it's all science. I mean, it's how long it's been on the ground, how wide it was, the damage that it caused. He said the long track tornadoes. I have no idea. Do you know how long that Hera tornado was on the ground?
I do not yet, because they're not done with it.
Yeah,
done with it.
That's what I just told my daughter. She was like, well, do we know how bad? I was like, we won't. And it will probably be a few weeks before they actually put it in the scale and say, okay, it was an EF4, it was an EF5. It was, 4s and 5s are the worst that you can get. So, and it's the wind scale. There's a lot of different things that go into how they scale these tornadoes.
And they also have different scales. It's going to take them a long time in Norman, Oklahoma.
Yes.
To run all the data. Let's look at this.
Classify tornadoes on a scale called the Enhanced Fujita scale. A gentleman by the name of Theodore Fujita came up with this classification system, and over time it's been modified. That's why it's now called the Enhanced Fujita scale, and it rates tornadoes from EF0 all the way up to EF5. Now, since 1959, we have never had an EF5 tornado in the state of Virginia, and we've only had 2 EF4 tornadoes. We've had about 30 EF3 tornadoes with winds of 136 to 165.
Okay, apples and oranges. Never mind. He's not from Oklahoma. I'll come back to that.
He said Virginia, I about fell over.
Yeah, that's not going to work. No.
We've had one, what did he say, 2, 3 EF4s or something?
That's not going to work.
Oklahoma said, hold my beer.
Yeah, it's like apple beat orange.
I'm not laughing. I am laughing, but it's just, I'm open.
All right, so golly, we knew we were going to get some severe weather this weekend. We had no idea it was going to be this bad. I mean, it is bad. This is again the Hera area, and we're seeing some extensive destruction, not just damage, but destruction as we make our way through. Here's another neighborhood that was hard hit. You can see there in the kind of to the right of your shot, a number of homes that were completely destroyed. There's not a single home in this neighborhood that you're seeing in our full screen shot here that doesn't have some damage or that is just destroyed. So, and I don't. What I don't know, I heard a possible report of fatalities from Damon Lane, but I don't know if that's confirmed. So I want to make sure that we get a confirmation on that before we put that information out. But just continuing to see more and more destruction as we continue to fly through the Hera area. So I'm going to turn around and fly back along this damage path, Francisco. But you can kind of see it almost looks like it touched down right in here, because right here is where we're seeing damage to trees, right where it begins. And then from here, it went for about 3 miles at least as it made its way through the Hera area. Looks like on the east side of Hera. But there's a good shot of the tornado path as it made its way from southwest to northeast, right through this heavily populated area of Hera, Oklahoma. Still a number of emergency crews out here. I know homeowners and friends and family. A lot of them are not able to get into this location just because of how much destruction there is, and just for safety purposes, they're not allowing anybody to come in here unless you're a homeowner and maybe some family members. But this is really bad. We're getting getting information about some homes that were destroyed. I know there's also some damage over at Sooner Road and I-240 and Sooner Road. There's some damage there, but I tell you, I don't know if it even compares to the damage that we're seeing here in Hera. So Francisco's trying to get as much on video as we can, but there is so much to see. I mean, there's just so much destruction. This is one of the worst that we've seen this year, and this is in November. We're talking about November tornadoes, which we haven't seen in a while, and this one was a bad one. I know we had a number of tornadoes last night, but this one, of course, the biggest and the most destructive, has made its way through here. Francisco, if you go to your left just a little bit, right along that road, there are major, large power lines that are down, right along the road, right there. You can see those large power lines down across the road. This is another reason why they're not letting vehicles through here. These down power lines probably extend for about a mile east and west along this road. Again, I think this is 15th, Southeast 15th. Say that again. Okay, yeah, this is Southeast 15th near Peebly Road, Southeast 15th and Peebly. And a lot of down power lines here. And that is why we have a lot of power outages in the Hare area. And I can tell you that OG&E is going to be working feverishly. They're going to be working nonstop in order to try to get this power restored to this area. But they've got their work cut out for them. These are large power poles.
Okay, Nikita, you are right. She said we're supposed to be getting hit with another storm tonight. Please, everyone, be careful. This one, I think the way they're predicting it won't so much come my way as in last night. I think it's going to go actually towards our girl Shonda's area.
Yeah, I seen it. I think that we're always right on that line with the Stillwater area, Noble County, Payne County. We're always right on that line. So it'll probably do, hopefully, because your girl's tired. I start my new job in the morning. Like I got things that I gotta do, that I gotta get rested up for. So I hope that I did look and see Southeast Missouri. If we have anybody that listens and that's out in the Southeast Missouri area, y'all may be getting really, really bad storms.
Right.
I know. And you can see, like, if you look, you can see the exact path that this storm took, and he's right. Like, you could see where that tornado set down and just chewed through those houses.
And it was horrible when the sirens were going off. My husband woke me up. He goes, get up. And I thought, I don't want to have sex with you right now. I'm sleepy.
No, Greg.
Yeah. Unless you're giving me an ice cream sandwich. And we had to start running. I was like, whoa. And I
definitely did not want to be woke up for that.
Yeah. And I had to call my friend Linda because, she's by herself. And she's like, oh, I'm already in the closet. And I said, well, I should have known that. So anyway, then I called my son. I have two sons in Tulsa because it was heading that way over, Tulsa Hills, basically going straight down 71st.
So scary.
After it left here and after it came to visit here, because Sand Springs, Sapulpa, Glenpool, Jinx Riverside Airport, all got hit.
I woke up a couple of times and it was raining, but I didn't pick up my phone or nothing because I was asleep with my windows open. I sleep with my door open and my screen door locked, And
Yeah,
so it's beautiful this time of year. This is, And so, I mean, I knew that it was raining and I knew that it had gotten loud a couple of times, but man, I should have just checked my phone. I feel so awful.
No, because I mean, I don't have any weather alerts on my phone. I thought I did, but I normally keep the TV on and then it'll pop up on there, National Service, weather alert,
Yep.
it'll go that way. And then OJ's very scared of storms. Very scared. And so Greg had to go find him in the house and we had to hunker down in the bathroom.
You need a little carrier for him for emergencies like that.
Get real. I've tried that a million times.
I know. We have an asshole cat too.
Yeah, he free balls it.
Better down here across Northeast 15th or Southeast 15th Street near Peebly Road. So we're also in a squeeze back on air. So if you're watching TV, you'll see our shots live. Sky 5, the only helicopter up here in the Hara area, bringing you these views of the damage here in Hara. Is that Ashley? Okay. Were there any? Can you turn my microphone down just for a second, Francisco? You can turn it back up. Ashley, were there any fatalities? Okay. Okay. So we're getting reports of injuries. We're not getting any reports of any fatalities. Hopefully we don't get any of those. But right now we're getting reports of injuries, at least 6 injuries.
Shonda, let me ask you this. It's extremely rare to get a tornado at 4 o'clock in the morning. Normally, okay, the Moore tornado, I remember it hit like in the afternoon, which was odd. Okay. Normally they're like in the evening, but like 4 in the morning, that was crazy. So I've seen a few people in here that have said these are man-made. Just like people have said that Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milford or Milton, whatever it was, are man-made. And when I see things like that, I just want to pull my hair out. It's weather patterns. That shit doesn't make any sense to me.
There are really weird weather patterns. And I mean, I've looked into the HARP thing and they can make the weather. They've been doing it for centuries. It's not something that they have just started doing. They have weather making machines that are on the ground now in certain areas of the world that doesn't like get a lot of rain and they need the rain. So, I mean, they have been experimenting, but making storms of this magnitude, I'm sure that the science is there, but I have looked into the HARP thing though, and I can't fully wrap my head all the way around. That's just like other conspiracy theories. Like that's just.
I think it's total bullshit. I mean, making it rain is one thing. I mean, if you elevate the humidity and you make it rain, that's one thing.
Making storms is something else.
But I mean, a full-blown tornado, I'm not seeing that. No.
Yeah, because if that's the case, then I mean, we would have hurricanes in Oklahoma. We would have, you know, which I mean, I know that we get remnants because, you know, like I said, we're not very far off of the Gulf, but we're far enough to where, you know, we don't. But there was a storm that moved through. I think it was one of the hurricanes. I can't remember which one, and I want to say that it was about 2016, 2017, maybe. But it became a tropical storm, moved onto land, and set over Houston for 3 days and rotated.
Hmm.
Do you remember that? That's whenever it flooded really, 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 really bad. Houston, I don't think Houston had ever seen it flood that bad.
I do not remember that. I
It
mean,
was crazy.
they can seed the clouds for, you know, farms that are in a
Yes.
drought, you know, for rain, but it's chemical rain.
Right.
I mean, I can make it rain right now. I can turn my water sprinkler on.
And that's what a lot of people will not like. I mean, whenever they want to discuss, you know, the making of the storms and things like that, there are different acts of science that goes into different storms, like hurricanes, tornadoes. Like we don't. It's just how the jet stream is and how the air intake is. And if it's a cold front moving into a warm front, and that's why a lot of our storms happen in the evening, because that's whenever the air is starting to cool off. And you've got, I love David Payne because he's my man in Oklahoma. I know you got Mike Morgan out there, don't you?
No, Travis Meyer. He's
Travis Meyer. That's your man. That's right.
Yeah,
we all have our weather guy in Oklahoma.
He's the Chuck Norris of Tulsa.
Yeah. But David, whenever David or, you know, any of your like meteorologists, your local meteorologist, and in Oklahoma, we all have a favorite weather guy.
Mhm.
And it's like church. When they come on TV, it's church. You're glued, you're listening to what they're saying, you know, and so I mean everything is explained. I'm not a super science nerd, so I can't tell you exactly how the jet stream works, but I know that that's how the tornadoes work.
Yeah, I think we've learned this since we were like in first grade. They would explain, listen, when it gets cold and it gets warm and there's enough moisture, it will form a tornado.
Right, for sure. And they tell you this while you're practicing your tornado drill in the hallway or at school.
And yeah, and they take you into the bathroom and they're like, hang on to the plumbing if anything happens.
Yes.
So, I mean, all of this crazy stuff saying Bill Gates is making hurricanes and tornadoes is crazy nuts.
It might be okay to entertain that had I not grown up in Oklahoma and have had to run from tornadoes my whole life. Like, that's why I said, we just watch the clouds. Like when you sent me those pictures that day, whenever you called me and you're like, hey, it's setting on top of you. When I was outside right before you called me, I could see the updraft. I could see it. You could see it in the clouds. And whenever you called me and I went back out, the clouds were not updrafting no more. And they were just sitting. There wasn't hardly any rotation. They were cool looking. There was movement in the clouds, of course, obviously, but you can see the updraft. And whenever you see the updraft in those mesos, whenever those mesos are sitting right on top of you, and you can see the updraft of the clouds, like basically getting sucked back into itself, that is not good. And then you start seeing that sucker rotate and start poking out a funnel. And yeah, all of your elementary school tornado drill training comes in to effect.
Absolutely. That's the reason we know to get in the bathtub, do this, do that.
Yes.
And so, hopefully, we actually start having fall soon and we don't have to deal with this.
Right.
And don't forget, you and me are going to go see Hanson for the Christmas ball at the Canes.
I cannot wait for this. I am so excited for this.
So whatever Bill Gates and the Illuminatis are doing, they need to quit their shit because we got shit to do next month.
Yeah, we got shit to do next month.
Yeah.
And now we're getting these views here of the damage here in Northmore, right here around 89th and Sooner. So west of Sooner, north of 89th. 89th actually crosses. Francisco's kind of making his way to 89th right now. There's 89th Street. Sooner's going to be down to the left. We'll just kind of keep the shot here. You don't have to show Sooner. But this is where the tornado crossed 89th Street, just west of Sooner. Golly, so much damage just right here. They've had crews are working to clear some trees and stuff off of the road so that they can open that eastbound lane of 89th Street. You can zoom in right there, Francisco, right there on the road. You can see crews working to, looks like it was a down tree or a down pole or something, but they're working to clear debris out of the road just so that they can open that up again. He's looking up at us. But yeah, a lot of damage there. Down power lines, causing some power outages.
Yeah, Karma said this is her daughter's friend's neighborhood. This is horrific. Look at this. Walk me through it, okay?
Of course, widespread, as Kendall mentioned, in parts of Oklahoma City and the surrounding suburbs as we speak. And Kendall, you can see it here. We look at Oklahoma City, and this, unfortunately, a scene that we see a lot of times, especially in the spring. But here we are in our second severe weather season, and again, down trees and power lines and homes being damaged as we speak.
That's right. And so to see the scenes like this, the devastation coming out of the Oklahoma City metro, it's heartbreaking. I've got a lot of friends and family that live in this area.
Oh, I think you and I are going to have to take a road trip, meet up with Melanie, meet up with Karma Libra. Now, listen, I'm not putting anyone's house back together, okay, because I'm not that handy. All I know how to do is use hot glue. So when people yell at me and say, why don't you do something, Brooks? Why don't you do something? Look, you don't want me helping your house. I'm not roofing it. I'm not re-bricking it. I'll bring you some water. I'll bring you some clothes, just like I did in Barnsdall, just like I did in Sulphur. But no, don't ask me.
My sister-in-law is one of the directors for United Way out of Ponca City, and I went to several thrift stores around, this area and got donations, and I was able to take it up there. So there are ways of being able to help. And yes, Brooks, I can make it. I can make it to South OKC in an hour.
Okay.
If traffic is good, like I do not hesitate, and I will do the same thing that I have always done in this situation, which is the exact same thing that you did. Waters, clothes. I mean, these people have lost everything. I had taken kitchen donations, diapers, baby bottles. Think about the babies. Toys. Because people have been completely just displaced out of their lives. Everybody. Think about the pets. Just think about things that you use on an everyday life that in your life that you oversee, that you take for granted, and those are the things that people are going to really need the most of.
100%. I totally agree. And see, like, it's getting dark out again right now. I mean, I don't know what it's like in your area, but I mean, it's getting real dark. And
they said it was supposed to restart about 1. The last thing that I seen, and that was from the U.S. Tornado Center or something. I don't know. It's some big group on Facebook, but it's starting to darken up here. I mean, we've got some gray clouds. Like I could feel it. I haven't felt any pressure change yet. And that's usually whenever I start maybe gathering emergency supplies. In that case, you can feel the pressure change. And so right now we're cool.
We're good for right now. We're good for right now.
And especially when you think about some of these towns. So Valley Brook, the I-240 area, this is where we saw the majority of the devastation. And so we know that search and rescue is underway. We also understand that as of this morning, again, 7 tornadoes have been confirmed, but there might be as many as 12 to 13. And so this is a quickly evolving situation. And as the first responders are getting out on the scene and some of these hard hit communities, as well as the National Weather Service, their storm survey teams this morning, We'll also be surveying the damage. We'll be bringing you the latest findings, but more and more images coming in. Here's another video coming in from Norman, Oklahoma. I actually saw this on X. I believe this was on OU, so University of Oklahoma's campus, right after the tornado ripped through the area.
Oh my goodness. And Norman, Oklahoma, of course, a place where the Storm Prediction Center is actually located, but you can see the winds screaming across that parking lot. Unfortunately, several reports of injuries in Valley Brook, Oklahoma. Again, you're looking at video from Norman where that rain was coming down fast and furious. We at one point had, in the city of Oklahoma City and Del City, had at least 35,000 customers without power. And here's the reason why. Kendall, you can see not just the down trees, but the down power lines, the down power poles, knocking down traffic lights and antennas, the whole 9 yards. And this is leading to a really dark and kind of it's a dark morning this morning in parts of Oklahoma City.
Right, and you think about the fact that this occurred Saturday night during the early morning hours, probably caught a lot of folks off guard. This is Choctaw, Oklahoma. Power outages, like you mentioned, up to 64,000 now in Oklahoma, so those numbers just continue to increase, and that's pretty much going to be the name of the game as we watch as this cluster of storms races eastward. Would not be surprised if we see additional power outages right along the storm's path.
You know, we were just showing you video of Choctaw, Oklahoma, and the mayor, Chad Alcox, posting onto Facebook earlier just saying, please keep the city of Choctaw, Oklahoma, and the town of Harab in your thoughts and prayers. Significant damage has been reported in both locations, and they're, of course, thanking first responders for all of their work that they've been doing through the overnight hours.
They get on my nerves sometimes. Like if you're going to talk about towns, like Google on how to say them.
Exactly. I heard many towns. Have you ever heard them on CNN say Tahlequah?
Yes. Was he calling it Chalk Talk?
Yeah, it's Choctaw, Oklahoma. And it's no bigger than a second. And I was like, what? Hey, look, I've made the same mistake pronouncing towns in other states. I have.
You should hear how my daughter used to say Okmulgee.
Oh, do tell.
Okmulgee. And she was dead serious. She was dead serious. Okmulgee. It was Okmulgee. Where are you going to, Kens? Okmulgee. I said, where is that? Okmulgee? You don't know where Okmulgee is? I was like, what in the hell is she trying to say to me? And then I thought about it. I was like, are you trying to say Okmulgee? And she just looked at me. She was like, that's not how you say it. No.
Oh, I pronounced Muskogee. You know how I pronounce Muskogee?
Yes.
Get-skogee, because it's a ghetto.
But that's facts. That's accurate, though.
Get-skogee. All right, let's turn it around. I've kept enough of your time. We're going to go, me and my girl Shonda, to the Canes next month. We have a designated driver. His name is DT Driver. And we're going to go see Hanson for the Christmas ball.
The fact that I can remember those lyrics like it was yesterday makes me proud of myself.
Me too. Dark Willow said, I love weekend lives. I get to join in. We need to do more of them. We honestly do. We have to do more weekend lives.
Sundays are good. Yesterday, we were shopping all day. I went to work for a little bit yesterday morning, and then I had to take everybody shopping because we have a wedding coming up, and the attire requested is black, and I don't know. I'm a jeans and boots kind of girl. You mean you tell me I can't wear my jeans and boots? We got a problem.
Right, exactly. I know what you mean.
So we were in the city, and it rained all day on us, and we left the city at 7:30. I think we were finally pulling out, and that storm rolled right in. Like as soon as we got home, it really started popping off down there.
Well, and like, my husband asked me this morning, I mean, when the siren stopped, he's like, have you called, your friend Shonda? And I said, no, it don't look like it's going through there. I don't want to wake up her and the kids. I called my dad. He answered the phone. He must be hungover or something because he just pulled over on the phone. I called, my children. I was called Linda. I mean, I was just calling everyone, just making sure they were up to know, not to be, laying on the couch or in the bed.
I'm definitely going to be watching it today for sure. It is starting to darken up here, and it is starting to rumble with the thunder.
Yeah, we've had thunder, lightning. Not worried about that. Not worried about that part. I just don't want to go on what happened last night, because where we live in Glenpool, they don't sound the siren unless one has been visible.
Yeah. And then you don't know where it's at. And I'd rather trust my instincts whenever it comes to, not that I give any doubt to our meteorologists and our fine folks, and the National Weather Service and stuff like that. I just would, you hear it, you can hear it. And whenever you hear it, it can be too late. But if you really know what you're listening for, it could save your life.
Absolutely. Well, you guys are the best. I will see you back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. Anybody that wants to go to the Hanson concert with me and my girl Shonda,
It's going to be a blast.
It's going to be a blast. You better believe it. Or if you want autographs from the band or anything like that, I think, if they allow it, we might live stream it, Shonda.
Yeah, that would be fun.
All right. You guys have a great rest of your Sunday. Thank you for coming up, Shonda.
Yes, ma'am. I had fun.
Because I was super worried about you.
Well, I appreciate that. And I am good. And today we're going to be good too.
All right. Melanie, are you coming up for the Hanson concert? Melanie's in here. Where's Karma? I think we might have to get a limo. All right. You guys are the best. I love you. Bye-bye.
Bye.